Hello everyone and welcome. I am, well, that's not important right now, but you can call me Alex. And first of all, I would like to apologize because I am not a native speaker, so my English won't be all that good, I guess. And why I am making this video? Well, first of all, I do not want to convert anyone to my beliefs or anything like that. I simply want to tell you all what I believe, because that way you will be more likely to know where I'm coming from when I'll make next video, and hell, even now you'll be more in the picture, or how to say it. The first thing I need you to understand is that I was brought up in sorry, I can't speak. A theist family, so there was nothing like a god, there was nothing like blind faith, anything like that. But since I was always interested in science and new discoveries and etc., I stumbled across some studies that showed me, you could say, a way to God. And no, it's not the biblical God, it's not the God of the Quran or anything. It's simply the God responsible. And I'm not saying that he created it with an intention, but is responsible for the beginning of the universe. The thing is that when you go and learn something about dimensions, and I have to clarify one thing, I do not take time as a dimension, so I'll be talking about fourth or higher dimensions, but excluding time, okay? You don't have to agree with this, but for me, time isn't really a dimension, so there. Now, what I want to show you is a four-dimensional cube, or so to say. It's called Tesseract. Many of you already heard of it and saw it on Avengers or something, but the thing is that Tesseract is real. It represents a four-dimensional cube, as I said, and is, how to put this the simplest way. Imagine a space where you pick where you want to go, and you can get there running around chaotically, because inside four-dimensional space, whether you go forward or backward or to the right or to the left, you are really going in all the directions. That's four-dimensional space. Now, if you take this logic that three-dimensional space has some sort of aligned directions, and if you go to the north, you are going to the north, and nothing changes that. But in this four-dimensional space, it doesn't apply. You just go to the north, or you think so, and in reality you are going in all directions there are. Following this logic, what would be the five-dimensional space like? I must confess to something. I didn't learn everything there is about this. I just learned about the Tesseract and few basic facts of the higher dimensions. But following this logic, there must be a space where all energy and all space is, I don't want to say it like this, but omnipresent. Everything is everywhere at the same time. I think it's 10th dimension or like that. And now my question is, what if this dimension was in fact a living being? And I just believe that. You probably want to know why. Well, our brain consists of particles and energy, okay? That those particles are forming our neurons, and the energy which is present there is in form of electrical impulses that represent our thinking. If you apply this and imagine the dimension where all the matter and all the energy is everywhere at the same time, you can say every information is always everywhere. If you apply the functions of human brain or logic of them to this space, it should be the same. At least I believe so. And therefore, I think that is a living being. That whole space is a living being. Also, how do I know that, there is some sort of energy there? As I said, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just stating what I believe. And I believe that this space, this multidimensional this 10th dimensional space is defined with natural laws that automatically mean it has energy, okay? That's what I believe. I am not trying to convince you or anything. Just follow my line of thinking. If there is a being in this space, 10-dimensional space, would it be curious? I think so, because every conscious being has some sense of curiosity. Therefore, and because there is every information everywhere in that space, I think that this being would have no choice but to send part of itself to lower dimension if it wanted to have some new experiences. You see, following this line of thinking, it's pretty much possible that this being just chopped a bit of itself, had sent it to a dimension below, and so on until some part of it got to our 3-dimensional space. And I'm not saying that the intent was to create this universe or us, for that matter, but to experience something. That sort of, explains a lot, at least for me. Because that explains why are we so curious, why we want to collect knowledge, and so on. Now, this is what I believe. This is what defines my faith. And I'm telling you because, I want you to know where the hell I'm coming from. So, this faith of mine is just part of much more complicated things. I'm not, and I don't want to bore you with that, but this is the basic principle. Therefore, each experience has its value, whether it is good or bad. Okay? Now, even though I believe this, I do not believe that humans, or human beings, or any conscious beings for that matter, should behave in inappropriate manner. We should not be doing bad things just because it's another experience. Now, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, sort of founded this little secret society, and we dedicated ourselves to collecting knowledge. For the most part, we were just, well, let's say, random kids who were curious about everything, just about everything in this world. As the time passed and I saw what's going on with this world and how everyone else is so damn blind, I thought to myself that it's time that our little secret society began to grow and started something new. My videos will be about a philosophy behind this and about what I want to do to make the world better place to live for our children, and maybe if we'll succeed, then maybe even for ourselves. The thing is that why am I even telling you this when I said it's a sort of secret society or organization or something? Well, I'm telling you because, first of all, I need to gain some income, and I'm hoping that YouTube and advertisements and so on will help me, because just keeping up the operation within this group is, quite frankly, very expensive. Well, very expensive in terms of that I am practically the only one sponsoring this group right now, and it costs about $1,000 each month, and I just don't have work that would be good enough to sustain this. And I don't believe that anyone would have a reason to harm us just because I'll tell what we are all about. I won't be discussing here any say plans we have, but I will tell you about our philosophy and how we want to change things. Well, I think that for an introduction this should be enough. I hope I wasn't too boring, and well, I hope to hear you soon.